Well, happy Friday night to you, ladies and gentlemen. We are the last generation of real humans, and they are waging war on us. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, 20-year former preacher, Bible college graduate, veteran of over 100,000 hours of biblical study, 36 years of experience that spans the spiritual spectrum, exorcist, spirit helper, teacher, author, traveler, bringing you live broadcasts from all sorts of cool spiritual places you can't go to yourself. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. I'm your Huckleberry. This is just my game. And we are ready to rock and roll. Thank you so much. I want to do something right off the bat. I know that some of you don't like it, but hey, we got to do what we got to do. And I want you to help me help you. And this makes big application of what we're talking about tonight. Go to my website, jeffreydaugherty.com. Click on the Mistech logo. Look at these products. You see me wearing them. Look at these products. Look at this technology. It will absolutely combat what we're talking about tonight. It'll actually absolutely change your life. Take a look at the website at Mistech. Decide which one you want. Come back here, order them. Use the donate button for easy ordering, a full 20% off. I'm telling you, we're the last generation of real humans. Forget your Starbucks for a month or really a couple weeks. Get one of these bands on your wrist. It's not about life and death. It's more important than that. All righty. So here we go. We're going to talk about the last generation. We are the last generation. We are the last generation of real humans, and they are waging war on us. I want to show you this because I'm kind of proud of it. I like the way it looks, and I want you to see it. Make sure you see it. No, not that one. Although I like that one too, but check this one out. Yeah. We are the last generation. We're your huckleberries. Say when. We're ready, ladies and gentlemen. We are able to win this battle. We're able to win this war. What am I talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is a planned agenda to take us out as humans. We are the last generation of real humans. They are destroying real humans. We're the last generation. We have to be the huckleberries. This has to be just our game. We got to get locked and loaded. And I'm telling you, folks, if we get going, their heart just can't bear the strain. So anyway, let's talk about this. I want to give you some sobering statistics. It's a little bit scary. It's a little bit about frightening. That's because they are the Earp brothers and Doc Holliday. It's a little bit frightening, but I have a powerful message for you and a empowering message for you in spite of difficult, in some case, difficult stuff. I listened to a video from David Icke, and I know that people have differing opinions of David Icke. He's been putting out a lot of great information for a long time. Not all of it's great, but he's been putting out a lot of great information for a long time, and I want to show you and talk to you about some things I just learned from him recently, and from Jay Campbell, and from Rex Bear. 86% of teenagers in the United States have been shown to have dangerous levels of gender-bending plastics, BPAs. What is a gender-bending plastic? Well, a gender-bending plastic, it mimics female hormones, estrogen, in males. This BPA, and BPA is only one of them, it is in 86% of the teens in the West, and it actually inhibits testosterone production, and it makes estrogen explode within males. And we're going to talk about what this does, and we're going to talk about why they're doing it, because we are the last generation of real humans, and they're trying to take us down. We are their last hurdle, and we're the last hope for us. We really are the last generation. So 86% of teens in America test for gender-bending plastics in their systems. And, you know, it's in the drinking water. It's in things we drink out of. It's in the inside of food cans. It's full. Let me relax. The food that you get through the drive-thrus is full of this stuff. The food that you get in boxes is full of this stuff. The food that you get in cans is full of this stuff. The sugars that you eat is full of this stuff. The processed carbohydrates that you eat are full of this stuff. The highly processed foods that you eat are full of this stuff. Full of this stuff. Stay with me, Claudette. We're heading your way. They're full of this stuff. Did you notice what I said? Drive-thrus, junk food, sodas, highly processed and refined foods. It's full of this stuff. And have you noticed, folks, that there is an explosion of this whole transgender notion? Now, I know there are people within our society that are legitimately transgendered. There's no doubt about it. There's people within our society that are legitimately transgendered. And I really want to shut my door because I left it open and it's late. I'm going to have to do it, folks. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to do it. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, but I left the door to the studio open, and you know what'll happen? We'll have some people over here banging on the door. And we don't want to do that. Mother of Dragons, that's actually good advice. At the grocery store, stay around the edges of the store. Avoid going into the aisles. That's actually really good advice. But you notice the explosion of transgender issues. Everybody's all of a sudden transgender. Everybody's all of a sudden changing from men to women, from women to men. Now, I'm not saying that there's not a certain number of people that are truly transgendered. What I am saying is that this explosion of people that are transgendered, and this explosion of plastics, and this explosion of the other things I'm going to talk about tonight, are not coincidental. It's cause and effect, at least to a very large degree, ladies and gentlemen. Young people are being forced to consider things that they would never consider, and young people and old people are being force-fed chemical cocktails that make them think in ways, act in ways, and do things that they would never consider doing in the past. Some of you are transgender. I'm not here to get on your case. I support you. Don't care what you do with your genitals. As long as you don't ask me to do anything with them, we're fine. And for the record, I really don't think that the divine is all that interested in what humans do with their genitals either. That's just me. So I'm not bashing LGBTQ people. No one's free till we're all free. There's no them, only us. It's not about that. What's it about? What it is about is additives, chemicals within our foods, within our water, within our air, within our atmosphere, that is deluging us with these type of changing, hormonally changing, psychologically changing, physically changing chemicals. And it's all being aimed at the demasculinization of the human race. The demasculinization of the human race. That's what it's all about. And there's a reason why, and we're going to get to it. This is important, and I can tell because there's a lot of craziness going on here, and we're just going to push our way through it. It's chemical. There's also political correctness madness going on, and it's all pushing this transgender agenda. You've got kids that are being asked as early as 8, 9, 10, 11 years old to consider the fact that they might be transgendered. It's so stupid. There's no way an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old child should even be broached with the idea of transgender. Am I really a boy? Am I really a girl? Not questions you need to be asking when you're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. And it shouldn't be facilitated when you're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. If you get yourself to the place where you can vote, you get yourself to the place where you're actually past puberty and you have a place where you have to decide who you are and what you want to be, that's the time to have those discussions. That's the time to have those introspections, not when you're 8 years old. And the reason they're doing it with increasingly young children is because there's an agenda behind it. They're trying to demasculate the West. They're trying to crash birth rates in the West. And they're trying to take the men that are already born and turn them into girly men. And there's a reason for it. And I'll touch on that before we are finished here today. And it's not just white guys like me worried about it. There's actual factual evidence, like the 86% of teens showing gender-bending chemicals in their bodies. There's also this explosion of people declaring themselves transgender. We went from none to everyone in 10 years. It's cause and effect, ladies and gentlemen. There's skyrocketing propaganda. There's skyrocketing blood tests for these BPAs, these plastics. And we're not questioning. People that have never questioned their sexuality are now being forced to, asked to. It's all right if you come to the place on your own to question it, but there shouldn't be an agenda driving you to question it. There's a lot of transgender indoctrination going on. And one of the things that this is all focused on is reducing testosterone levels in men. Jeff, why do we care about testosterone levels in men? Well, let me tell you why we care. Testosterone levels in men are what make men masculine. Well, we don't want men yelling and screaming. We don't want men hitting women. We don't want men doing these things. No, we don't. But what we do want men doing is standing up to injustice. What we do want men doing is saying enough is enough. What we do want men doing is being able to look at something that's right or wrong, being able to look at a situation of injustice, being able to look at a situation of ethnic cleansing and say, we're not going to stand by and allow this to happen. And guess what? Testosterone in women does the same thing. When you crash the testosterone levels in a man, he becomes blasé. When you crash the testosterone level in a woman, she becomes blasé. There's a reason why Nazi Germany fluoridated the water before they started taking people to the concentration camps, because it makes people blasé. It makes people less likely to resist injustice. Let me tell you what a reduced testosterone level in a man does, and also to a woman in a lesser degree. reduced testosterone level in a man, fatigue, exhaustion, weight gain, anxiety, and depression, and reduced, obviously, sexual activity and performance. Do you realize that I just described 8 out of 10 men that you know anywhere you live on this planet? Think of 10 men that you know right now. Include yourself if you are one. Are you or are they fatigued? Are you or are they exhausted? Are you or are they experiencing weight gain? Are you or are they suffering from anxiety? Are you or are they suffering from depression? Think about that. If the answer to those questions is yes, get yourself tested for testosterone optimization. I just went and did it on Tuesday. I have the bruise on my arm. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, you can see it. See that bruise on my arm? I got 3 vials of blood pulled out of me. And the results will come back in a couple days. And if it comes back that my testosterone is low, guess what? I'm going to take testosterone because I'm going to be one optimized mofo. I know most of the rest of you won't do it for varying reasons. So if you won't do it, then I got to do it. If me and Jake Gamble and Jim Brown are the last 3 optimized males on the planet, we're going to go down fighting. Atrazine, bonsai, another one. 85 atrazine is huge in destroying sperm counts, testosterone, and poisoning people, and keeping fetuses. I hate the word fetuses, but you know what it is. That would be born male from being born male and causing them to be born female. If there's only 3 or 4 of us left on the planet that are real men, we better at least be optimized. Well, I forgot 4 because I know that Marduk Ridwan is a real man. For sure. What is testosterone optimization therapy? What it is this. And I don't offer it. Thank you, Joshua. I don't sell it. It's not about that. But I am trying to build the gospel truth army. Robin says she can't get her hubby to take a physical. That's because he's probably embarrassed. When a man is 18, 19, 20 years old, that's when he has the most testosterone in his system. As a man gets to, I'll be 55 this year, his testosterone is reduced significantly. All testosterone optimization therapy does is looks at you, and if you have testosterone that is lower than it optimally should be, they give you a testosterone shot every week to keep it and get it back up to where it should be. And guess what? You can even give it yourself. Lit T says, can't you raise it naturally? Not really. Ooh, Dave Bill says he's suffering from full-blown GTA. There is an epidemic, ladies and gentlemen, of GTA. It's highly addictive. If you catch it, it will work its way through your system overnight, and you will be hopelessly optimized with GTA. No shots necessary, no pills necessary, just an open mind and a thirst for knowledge. GTA, catch it today. Gospel Truth Army. You can even administer the shots to yourself. You don't even have to go into the office and have a cute girl stick you in the butt with a needle. Am I going to do this to reproduce, or am I going to do it just to keep up the feisty? Tiffany, you're missing the point. You don't often miss the point, but you're missing this one. It's not about wanting to chicky, wow, wow. It's not about that. Completely. There's some of that. I mean, every man wants to be virile, vigorous, and potent. It's about being a real man. It's about being able to be strong. It's about being able to know the difference between right and wrong. It's about having the ability to stand up for yourself and to stand up for the innocent. It's about being willing to stand up and be noticed. It's about not wanting to be a sheep and wanting to be a ram. They're cutting the horns off the rams. They're cutting the balls off the rams. There's a reason why they call boldness balls, says somebody in Twitter. I can't quite read the names. Amen. And I don't say that, I'm joking. Jennifer says, yes, there is a reason for testosterone in the sexual department because men suck in bed these days. Personally, I cannot confirm that men suck in bed. Never been down that road. That's fine if you have been. But it's not about the sex. Although if we were, let's just talk about it. It's Friday night. It's 11:30. If men were better in bed, then men would probably be having more sex. And if men were having more sex, they'd probably be happier. And if men were having more sex, then the women and the men that they're having more sex with would be happier. And if everybody's happier, they'd be more inclined to seek more happiness and to seek the happiness of others. So guess what, folks? Maybe it is about sex more than we want to admit. We all want to be high-minded. We all want to be professional. We all want to be, of course, it's not about sex. What if it is about sex? What if one of the things they want to stop us from doing is having good sex? What if they're trying to stop our good sexy time? Let me ask you a question. Do you feel better or worse when you're having good sex? I'll wait. Do you feel more empowered or less empowered when you're having good sex? I'll wait. Do you feel on top of the world or like shooting yourself if you're having good sex? Are you more likely to have a zest for life when you're having good sex or not? Not to mention the fact that if we have more sex and we become more spiritual people, we're going to stumble onto the incredible spiritual, magical powers of sexuality and expression. And then it's all over for them. It's all over for the controllers if we start getting into our true spirituality. And sexuality is a manifestation of, if we ever get into the fullness of the power of who we are as spiritual beings, and part of that is the realization of the power and the magic of sexuality. Did he just say sex magic? He did. Sex magic, sex magic, sex magic. We're going to start talking about sex magic because they don't want us to talk about it. Now, I'm not talking about having sex magic with a different person every night. It's not sex magic. But anyway, so some of it is about sex. See how quickly I backed away from that because, see, I'm programmed. Of course, it's not all about sex. That's not what we don't really care. Yes, we do care about sex, and it is important. And we're letting the controllers and the fake news and the mainstream media and the do-gooders and the evangelicals, we're letting them back us down from being real humans. We're the last generation of real humans. Guess what? Real humans like sex. Real humans like sex. Real humans like sex. And guess what? Real humans like good sex. And when real humans who like sex start having more sex, they'll start having better sex. Practice, practice, practice. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. When we start having more sex, we'll start having better sex. When we start having better sex, we'll start accidentally falling into the spiritual side of sex. And then we'll say, whoa, what if we started doing that on purpose? And when we activate our spiritual, psychosexual, spiritual beings, forget it. We're done. We will blow this thing up in a positive way. How did this turn into Dr. Ruth? So some of it is about sex. Thank you, Tiffany, for starting us down that road. But it's more than that. Do you know that in the West, being defined by the United States, Canada, Western Europe, Australia, New Zealand, sperm counts in males, they're down 60%, Twitter. Sperm counts in males are down 60%, Facebook. 60%, YouTube. Sperm counts in males are down 60%. That means they're docile. That means they're sheep-like. That means they're fat. That means they're lazy. That means that they can't fight their way out of a proverbial wet paper sack. And do you know that at current rates, by 2040, I believe it is, let's say 2050, just to give myself some wiggle room, that men in the West will be functionally impotent. Within let's say 50 years, just to be, it's not 50, but let's just say, because I forgot the quote that Jay quoted from the doctor. Within 50 years, there will not be enough sperm in a Western male to impregnate a female. Functionally impotent. And guess what? If you're trying to, we always think about, they're trying to do depopulation. They're going to have to kill a bunch of people. Not necessarily. What if you stop allowing people to be born? People are going to continue to die. People typically die outside of war in fairly certain, and the whole life insurance industry is built on actuary tables. People die at a certain rate. So you can reduce the world's population by not having any more people being born. And if you're trying to promote a takeover, let's say Islam, if non-Islamics stop having babies and pro-Islamics keep having them, all of a sudden you got more Islamic people than you got non-Islamic people. But that's another argument. That's another fight. That's another issue. Testicular cancer is exploding. 1/5 of all teen men, that's 17, 18, 19-year-old teen men, are functionally impotent. Do you know that pick a male, any male, and test him for sperm count? He has half the sperm count that men, pick a man, any man in World War II had. Birth rates are way down. Tap water is filled with chemicals that destroy sperm and chemicals that prevent the development of male fetuses. Prostate cancer is exploding. There is no doubt that there is a well-planned, well-orchestrated campaign against male virility being waged. And I urge any and every man to get tested and to get optimized, get testosterone optimization therapy. I don't sell it. I don't make any money off of it. I'm trying to raise a gospel truth army. I'm trying to fire up the last generation of real humans. Women, get yours tested. Because if you don't have it, then you don't give a shit either. Oops, I didn't mean to say that word. Okay, they're doing it. It is a statistical, numerical certainty. It's an objective, empirical, scholarly certainty that these things are happening. Why are they happening? Well, I think the main reason they're well, let's just talk about why they're happening. They're happening because they want to reduce the population. They're happening because they want to prevent the males that are now alive and prevent the females that are now alive. They want to prevent the last generation of real humans from acting like real humans. They want to remove from us that inbred desire for liberty. They want to extract from us, Facebook and YouTube, that inbred desire for sovereignty. They want to weed out of us, Facebook, that inbred desire for freedom. They don't want rams anymore. They want sheep. And they're trying to prevent the birth of any more people like your friendly neighborhood Christian whistleblower, your brothers and sisters in the Gospel Truth Army. They don't want any more Rex Bears. They don't want any more Wayne Steigers. They don't want any more Jenny Moonstones. They don't want any more Heidi Vandenbergs. They don't want any more Trisha Gelders. They don't want any more Dan from Overwatch Channel. They don't want any more of those people. They don't want any Mardukes, not the bad Marduk, the good Marduk. They don't want any more of us because they know that they got their hands full with those of us that are here. Because I know some of you, you're listening to this, you're like, I'm not gonna take it anymore. I'm not gonna take it. I'm gonna step up. Politicians prefer unarmed peasants. And as Bonsai's saying, politicians really love unarmed, effeminate peasants. They don't want any more Vikings. They don't want any more people. They don't want any more rebels. They don't want any more Jeffersons and Washingtons and Adams. And I know those guys weren't perfect, but they did stand up against the most powerful military force the world had ever known and beat them. I'm not talking about a hot war. I'm not talking about guns and bullets, because that's not the kind of weaponry we need to win our war. Our war is a spiritual war. Our war is a war for the hearts and minds of the men and women that are on this earth, to leave an opportunity for the men and women that are coming up and that will be on this earth potentially. Sometimes I'm tempted, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes I'm tempted to just go full monk, just concentrate on my own spirituality, just concentrate on my own development, live the next 50, 60 years, whatever I got here, maybe write some books, maybe do some YouTube, and just go on my own merry way. But I'm just not built that way. I've got to step to the fore and fight the good fight. And it's people like, Jay Campbell that I love going to battle shoulder to shoulder with. It's people like Rex Bear I love going battle shoulder to shoulder with. People like Jim Brown I love to go to battle shoulder to shoulder with. But Jeff, we're probably going to lose. Yeah, we might lose. This might be a war that we can't win. It's very possible. We might not be able to win this war. We might not be able to win this war. But I'm not going to go out lying down. I'm going to be like the old Spartans. Come back carrying your shield or come back on it. I'm going out fighting. I'm going out hoping. I'm going out believing. I'm going out like that. I'm going out like that. What did I see? What did I see? I think it's like a fish, and I know fish don't have arms, but it's this picture of this, like this crane that's got this fish, and the fish is like halfway down the crane's throat, but he's choking him out and saying, it's the last great act of defiance. Never give up, never surrender. What do we do? And I'm listening to Gladys Knight today. Midnight Train to Georgia. Used to love that song. Then I listened to the lyrics. I'd rather live with him in his world than live without him in mine. What? Not me. I'm not going to live in the rat bastard's world. I'm going to live in my world. Going out like a moose climbing an olive tree looking for bananas. That sounds like a lot of activity. So what do? Stop going through the drive-thru. Just stop. Do not go through the drive-thru. Stop eating things that come out of boxes. Stop eating highly processed foods. Stop eating white sugar. Stop eating white flour. Why are you eating the stuff they're giving you to kill you with? Brian, I hate to admit it. I don't like to say this because I don't like to be an extremist, but I haven't felt better since I stopped drinking alcohol. I know Jay Campbell doesn't touch a drop of alcohol. Nothing to do with AA. If you're in AA, good for you. If it works for you, great. I'm glad. I have a dear friend who's in AA. It's working fantastic for her. Awesome. Make up your mind. They're killing you one spoonful at a time. They're killing you one mouthful at a time. You're digging your own grave with your spoon. Find a way to eat locally and organically. I didn't think I could do it, but I got on the internet. Here's this great tool, the internet, and it's better. It's not just good for cats. And there's more on there than porn and YouTube and stuff like that. I Googled organic meals Clearwater. And I found a place less than 2 miles from me that produces locally sourced organic paleo meals. That means very low carbs. $11 a meal. Absolutely delicious. I have at least a tablespoonful of local raw honey every day. I have at least a tablespoonful of organic coconut oil every day. I have 2 or 3 cloves of raw garlic every day. I do, and I know some of you think it's gross, urine therapy. What else do? I drink a teaspoon of baking soda in some water every day. Thanks to Hillary K. Davis for putting me onto that. And when I do those things, when I stay doing those things, I drink a gallon of water a day, only distilled water. That's all I drink. And when I do those things, I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Never get sick. I got off my regimen, got sick. I go to the gym. I wasn't going to the gym anymore, but I want to get back to a certain level of muscularity. Then I'll go back to just doing the body weight exercises. But I'm going to the gym twice a week. Well, that's not true. I'm going 4 times a week. I'm working all my body parts twice a week. I'm riding my bike to the beach just about every day. It's about a 8-mile round trip by the time you do all the curves and stuff that are necessary. You see me walking on the beach every morning, grounding to the earth. I'm doing polyphasic sleep. I sleep, 4 or 5 hours a day. I'm doing all I can. We're the last generation of real humans. I'm getting busy. These are all things we can do. Stop eating carbs after 6 o'clock at night. Well, Jeff, I can't go to the gym. I can't do all this stuff. There's a guy that lives across the street from me. Well, he's catty corner, and if I'm 55, he's got to be 70, maybe more. This is a good idea. His name is Dave. Going to help me screen in my porch. And I'm talking to Dave today, and he's riding his bicycle, and he pulls over. Dave on a bicycle, a girl's bike, which I found a little curious, but that's okay. Dave's on the bike, and I'm like, Dave, you trying to stay healthy? He says, yeah. The loop around our mobile home community is a half a mile. So Dave rides that sucker 20 times. Dave rides 10 miles a day on his girl bike around our park, and he's 70 years old. What's your excuse? Twitter, Facebook. What's your excuse? If Dave can do it, you can do it. If Dave can do it, you can do it. And I'll bet you Dave's testosterone level is higher than some of you here in your 30s, 40s, 50s. We're the last generation of real humans. We're the huckleberries. We got to be the huckleberries. Because there's nobody else. They're not growing huckleberries anymore. We're the last generation of real humans. We're the last hope for humanity. And I believe that there's enough of us that I can sit here with confidence. I can sit here with joy, and I'm trying to keep my microphone out of the way of my Twitter feed. I believe that I can say that for the Gospel Truth Army, we're your huckleberries. That's just our game. Say when. We're ready. And you will not take us down without the fight of your life, brother. We're the Gospel Truth Army. We're marching on without fear. We know it's easier to fool people than it is to convince them they've been fooled, but that's not going to stop us. We're here to guide our own spirits. We're here to master our own ascension. We're here to be our own guru. We're here to ask questions and question answers. We're here to live fearlessly. Where are your huckleberries? Say when.